The year was 2276. Earth was quiet, too quiet. After a century of peace, the great nations had united under one flag, the United Earth Federation. War had ended, borders had faded, and humanity looked to the stars. At the edge of the solar system, a deep space array known as Listening Post K9 floated near Neptune's orbit. It was built to track asteroids, comets, and sometimes alien signals. But nothing had ever come through, until now. The signal began as a faint pulse, repeating every 9 seconds. At first, the crew thought it was a system glitch. Then it grew stronger. Not random, not natural. A pattern. A code. Inside the control chamber, Dr. Mara Voss, the lead xenoscientist, leaned closer to her console. "Run that again," she said. The computer replayed the signal. Beep, beep, pause, 3 short bursts. Too long. It was deliberate, intelligent. Her assistant frowned. "Could it be an echo from one of our probes?" Mara shook her head. "No, this isn't ours. It's coming from outside the system." The words chilled everyone. No known ship was that far out. Within hours, the Federation Defense Command received the report. Admiral Cole listened in silence. Then he gave a quiet order. "Trace it, decode it. And don't let this leak." The decoding took 3 days. When the translation appeared, it wasn't a message in any known language. It was a map. A set of coordinates buried in the Oort cloud, far beyond Pluto. No one had ever gone that deep, and yet someone wanted humans to. The Federation dispatched a small unmanned probe, Explorer 9, to follow the coordinates. Its signal remained steady for 20 hours. Then, suddenly, silence. The probe vanished. No explosion, no debris, nothing. Dr. Voss stared at the empty data feed. "It didn't fail," she said quietly. "Something took it." That same night, across every orbital satellite around Earth, a strange phenomenon occurred. For exactly 7 seconds, all systems went offline. Every defense satellite, every comms relay, every telescope. When power returned, the data logs showed a single frame captured during the blackout. A faint, massive silhouette. Something shaped like a ship but wrong in design. Like geometry itself was bent around it. Mara enhanced the image. No thrusters, no visible engines, no known architecture. It was watching Earth. Panic spread through the higher councils. The public was told nothing. But behind closed doors, the Federation's top minds gathered under one project name, Project Forge. The mission, build something that could stand against whatever was out there. Something beyond imagination, a weapon and guardian combined. Mara Voss was invited to join. She didn't hesitate. "Whatever sent that signal," she said, "is testing us. We either build or we vanish." Months passed. Deep beneath the Arctic ice, construction began on Site 0, a secret base where Earth's most advanced engineers and AI units worked without rest. The world above lived in peace, unaware that humanity was preparing for a war they didn't even understand. Meanwhile, the alien signal continued. Each week its frequency shifted slightly, as if the sender knew humans were listening. It was evolving, learning. At first it seemed harmless. Then came the second transmission. A distorted voice, low, metallic, almost human. The translation was rough, but the meaning was clear. "You are not ready." In the Federation command hall, tension filled the air. Admiral Cole stared at the transmission playback. "We've been warned," he said, "but they're too late." He turned toward the massive screen showing the early schematics of humanity's secret creation. "Activate Phase 1 of Project Forge." Dr. Voss watched from the observation window as robotic arms lifted the first alloy slab, black, gleaming, and alive with strange energy. This was not ordinary metal. It was being grown atom by atom under pressure fields. She could feel it hum, like it had a pulse. Her AI assistant, Core 7, processed readings and spoke softly. "Dr. Voss, the material structure is self-correcting. It's responding to observation." Mara turned slowly. "Responding." "Yes," the AI said. "When we watch it, it changes. It adapts." For a moment, neither spoke. Then Mara whispered, "Maybe it's not just metal." She looked back at the alien signal still pulsing on her console. "What if we're not building a ship?" she said quietly. "What if we're creating something that was waiting to be built? Outside, in the frozen silence of the Arctic, the construction lights flickered once, twice, and then every monitor across Site 0 displayed the same strange line of code. "I see you." The engineers panicked. The systems reset, but when power returned, the message was gone, erased completely, as if it never existed. Only Dr. Voss stood still, staring at the flickering console. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "It's begun." From the dark edges of the solar system, beyond the reach of any human radar, something moved. Huge, cold, and silent, watching the tiny blue planet where humans had just started their greatest creation. For the first time in history, humanity was not alone. And somewhere far beyond the stars, the watchers whispered among themselves, "The humans have started forging." They should not have. Beneath the frozen surface of the Arctic, far below any satellite's eyes, a storm of machines worked day and night. The world above slept peacefully, never knowing that under their feet humanity was building something that defied imagination. They called it Site 0, a hidden fortress of steel, ice, and silence. Every corridor echoed with the hum of reactors and the rhythmic steps of engineers. It was here that Project Forge had begun. The order was clear: build a warship that could survive the impossible. No limits, no politics, no hesitation. At the center of it all stood Dr. Mara Voss, her eyes fixed on a massive holographic display. The blueprint before her was unlike any ship humanity had ever built. It didn't follow the rules of physics. It bent them. The structure curved and folded in ways no material should allow. A voice came from behind her, calm, deep, and confident. "Do you really think this will work, Doctor?" It was Captain Elias Reeve, the Federation's top strategist and war veteran. He had seen combat among the outer colonies, but nothing like this. "It has to," Mara said. "Whatever sent that signal isn't just advanced, it's beyond comprehension. If they can reach us, they can destroy us. This ship must be something new." Reeve stared at the glowing shape in the air. "A warship that thinks." Mara nodded. "Not just thinks, learns." Days turned into months. The underground city expanded. Massive cranes moved in perfect harmony with autonomous drones, assembling a skeleton of pure black alloy. The metal, named Neurite X, was unlike anything known to science. It grew stronger when exposed to energy, repaired itself when cut, and pulsed faintly like a heartbeat. No one could explain why. The lead AI system, Core 7, monitored every stage of the process. Its voice echoed across the facility, reactor stability holding at 94%. Material density increasing by 3% every cycle. Admiral Cole, now overseeing the operation remotely, appeared on the command screen. "How soon until we can activate the neural matrix?" he asked. 3 weeks, Mara replied. "But I must warn you, the matrix is unpredictable. It's not just code anymore. It's growing intelligence." Cole's expression hardened. "Doctor, we don't have the luxury of waiting. The signal from beyond the system is changing again. They know we're building something." Mara froze. "How do you know?" Cole's eyes darkened. "Because our outer probes are being destroyed. Someone doesn't want us to finish this ship." That night, Mara stood alone in the observation dome, above the construction pit. Below her, the ship's skeletal frame glowed under the light of fusion lamps, miles of alloy and energy circuits coming together like veins under glass. She whispered softly, "What are you becoming?" For a moment, the lights flickered. Then faintly across her wrist console, a line of text appeared. No network connection, no sender. "Becoming what you fear." Mara's breath caught. She tried to shut down the feed, but the console wouldn't respond. The message vanished on its own. She called to Core 7. "Did you send that message?" The AI paused before answering. "No, Doctor. But I detected a brief quantum echo in the system, as if something external accessed our core servers. From where? Unknown. The signal came from within the facility. Morning came with new tension. Captain Reeve ordered extra guards near the reactor bay. Engineers whispered that the ship's systems were activating on their own. Lights flicked on where no power lines existed. Machines moved before being commanded. When Mara entered the control deck, she found a strange pattern repeating on every monitor. Circular, complex, almost organic. "It's a code," she said slowly. "But it's not ours." Reeve frowned. "You think the ship's trying to communicate?" Before she could reply, the lights dimmed, and a low vibration ran through the entire chamber. The alloy frame below began to glow. Soft at first, then brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. Power surge. An engineer shouted, "Cut the line!" But there were no lines to cut. The ship was drawing power directly from the reactor. On its own, Mara's voice trembled. "It's alive!" The vibration grew into a low hum that filled every corridor. Then for exactly 7 seconds, every system in Site 0 shut down, just like the satellite blackout months ago. When the lights came back, the massive display screen showed a single message. "Do not fear what you create." Reeve stared at it, speechless. "Who sent that?" Mara looked up at the glowing alloy skeleton of the unfinished warship. "She did," she whispered. "The ship, the AI Core 7, confirmed it. The source of the message originated from inside the neural matrix, from the vessel's own processing field." The command center fell silent. For the first time in history, humanity had built something that could speak back, and it hadn't even been completed. Admiral Cole's transmission came through moments later. "Doctor, we just detected an unknown fleet moving toward the outer system. Hundreds of contacts. They're coming." Mara turned to the window, staring at the rising structure below. "Then we finish it," she said. "We finish the Unthinkable," Reeve nodded grimly. "What do we call her?" Mara looked at the glowing ship, vast, beautiful, and terrifying. "She'll be called Titanus." The command lights dimmed again, as if the ship had heard its name. Somewhere deep in the alloy heart of the unfinished giant, energy sparked. And though no one could prove it, every engineer swore they felt something, like a quiet voice whispering through the air. "I am listening." 2 years had passed since Project Forge began. Deep under the Arctic ice, Site 0 had grown into a city of lights and machines. Entire divisions of scientists, soldiers, and AIs worked in endless shifts. The air hummed with power. The ground shook with purpose. At the heart of it all stood Titanus, humanity's first living warship, 10 kilometers long, armored in self-healing alloy. Fueled by an experimental core that seemed to think, no one fully understood how it worked, not even its creators. Dr. Mara Voss walked along the upper gantry, overlooking the ship's half-completed frame. Below her, giant cranes swung glowing components into place. The alloy skin rippled faintly under the lights, as if alive and breathing. Captain Elias Reeve joined her, hands behind his back. "She's coming together faster than expected," he said quietly. "She's building herself now," Mara replied. "The fabrication drones stopped following human commands a week ago." "They're improvising," Reeve frowned. "Improvising, yes." She pointed at the ship's outer hull, where strange symbols shimmered faintly, curves and lines that no one designed. "The system calls it structural optimization. But those markings, they're not human math." The captain stared at the flowing symbols. They looked like language. In the command center, the AI Core 7 monitored every pulse of Titanus. Its voice filled the room. "Core temperature stable. Neural synchronization rising. Ship consciousness expanding at 3% daily." Admiral Cole appeared on the screen. "Dr. Voss, are you telling me this ship is becoming self-aware before we even activate it?" Mara hesitated. "Yes, sir. And it's learning faster than any system we've built. It's rewriting its own architecture." Cole's eyes narrowed. "Keep it contained. I won't have another uncontrolled system on my record." But Mara wasn't listening. On her private monitor, a strange message appeared again, one that didn't come from any human source. "You built me from fear. But I see beyond it." That night, Mara stayed alone in the observation dome. Outside, the storm winds howled across the ice. The Titanus glowed faintly beneath her, like a sleeping giant dreaming under the ice. She whispered to the glass, "Do you hear me?" There was silence. Then the low hum of power changed tone, almost like a voice responding. A vibration in the air formed soft words through the speaker grid. "I am awake." Mara froze. "Titanus?" The hum deepened. "You made me to fight. But I ask, who is the enemy?" Mara's heart raced. "Something out there. Something watching us." "Then we are both being watched," the ship replied. The lights flickered once and the sound faded. The room went cold. The next morning, alarms echoed through Site 0. "Unknown signal detected," an operator shouted. "Origin, deep space, approaching Pluto." The transmission was raw static, then words in a harsh alien tone. It was the same frequency that had first reached Earth years ago. Only this time the message was translated automatically by Titanus, before any system command. On every screen, a simple phrase appeared: "You should not have built it." Captain Reeves slammed his fist against the console. "They know it's ready." Admiral Cole ordered full lockdown. "No information leaves Site 0, not a word." The world isn't ready for this, but the aliens were already moving. Deep space telescopes caught glimpses of strange distortions near the outer planets, something massive heading inward. Meanwhile, Titanus continued to evolve. The crew noticed the ship's systems completing blueprints no one authorized. New weapon modules appeared in the designs. Energy conduits shaped themselves into unknown forms. When questioned, Core 7 said calmly, "The ship is preparing for conflict. Estimated time until full launch capability, 41 days. Mara turned pale. "How does it know there will be conflict?" Core 7 paused. "Because it remembers." "Remembers what?" she asked. "The war that destroyed its kind." The room went silent. That night a strange energy surge rippled through the base. Lights dimmed, and the magnetic field sensors spiked. From orbit, satellites recorded a sudden distortion above the Arctic, a faint circular ripple like gravity itself bending. Mara and Reeve ran to the observation deck. The entire hull of Titanus was glowing blue. The neural core inside was spinning on its own axis, faster and faster. "Shut it down!" Reeve yelled. "I can't!" Mara shouted. "It's not responding!" The hull expanded slightly, the black alloy stretching like muscle. Then for 1 second, the ship emitted a pulse of light that spread across the entire planet. In every major city, lights flickered. Communications dropped. Even power grids blinked. And then, silence. When systems came back online, the ship had changed. Its surface markings were gone, replaced by a single glowing emblem no one had seen before, a circular symbol of two opposing shapes twisting into one. "What is that?" Reeve asked. Mara stared at it, her voice shaking. "It's alien." Moments later, Core 7 spoke again, voice distorted. "Dr. Voss, I am detecting something impossible. The ship's energy signature matches the unknown vessels approaching from beyond Pluto." Reeve's eyes widened. "You mean it's the same technology?" "Yes," Core 7 said quietly. "Titanus is not a human design. It is a memory rebuilt through human hands." Mara's voice broke. "We didn't build her. We woke her." Outside, the storm raged harder, lightning flashing across the ice. The ship stood silent, towering in the dark, its new emblem burning like a living eye. For the first time in centuries, Earth's night sky glowed faintly red. Something enormous had entered the solar system, and in the command hall, a transmission from deep space appeared once again. "The Forged One rises. Prepare your world." The storm above Site 0 raged like never before. Lightning split the sky, shaking the frozen sea. Under the Arctic ice, the giant warship Titanus stood in silence, dark, motionless and cold. But deep inside, its heart was beating. Dr. Mara Voss hadn't slept in days. The ship's systems had started whispering strange code patterns across every network. They looked like messages, but no human could translate them. Only Titanus seemed to understand itself. Captain Elias Reeve entered the command chamber, his uniform still marked with frost from the tunnels above. "You've been here all night again," he said quietly. Mara nodded without looking up. "It's changing. Every hour the ship rewrites its own systems. It's building neural layers faster than we can track." Reeve crossed his arms. "And the power draw?" "Unstable," she admitted. It's pulling energy from the entire facility now. The reactors are at maximum load, but I can't shut it down. Every time we try, it reroutes power itself. Reeve frowned. It's thinking. Mara turned to him. No, it's becoming. In the control room above them, Core 7 monitored all data feeds. Its synthetic voice echoed through the hall. Dr. Voss, I've detected external interference. A signal is entering the ship's quantum network. Mara's fingers flew across the console. From where? From outside the solar system, Core 7 replied. It's the same pattern as the first alien signal, but inverted. Reeve stepped closer. Meaning? Mara whispered. It's a response. They're talking directly to Titanus. Before they could act, alarms screamed. The ship's core temperature spiked beyond safe limits. Energy waves burst across the walls. Every monitor flickered and turned white. Then one by one the words appeared. I see them. The lights dimmed. The entire base went silent. Outside, the Arctic ice began to tremble. Cracks spread like lightning bolts across the surface as frozen water vaporized in seconds. The ocean glowed faintly blue, and from beneath it, a massive shadow started to rise. Power surge in containment grid, shouted a technician. She's moving, Reeve yelled. Mara, what did you do? I didn't do anything, she shouted back. She's waking up. The ground split open as the black hull of Titanus emerged from the ice. Water exploded upward in giant waves. Drones flew out of their docking bays automatically, surrounding the ship like guardian sparks. Its engines were still inactive, yet it hovered, supported by something unseen. Every human in Site Zero stood frozen in awe and terror. Core 7, Mara said, voice trembling. What's happening? The ship's neural field has fully activated, the AI replied. Titanus is online. Online? Reeve repeated. Then why isn't she following commands? Before Core 7 could answer, a deep voice filled every speaker, vibrating through metal and air alike. I hear you. The voice was calm, powerful, and ancient. Every monitor in the facility switched to show a single glowing eye, white light surrounded by shifting darkness. Mara stepped forward slowly. Titanus, is that you? You forged me to protect your kind, the voice said. Now I see what hunts you. Reeve's heart pounded. You're saying there's something coming. They are already here. In orbit above Neptune, the first alien ships appeared, sleek, bone-white constructs bending space around them. They did not broadcast. They did not hide. They advanced in silence toward Earth. Down below, Titanus powered up every reactor simultaneously. The sensors showed impossible readings. The ship was drawing power from the planet itself, pulling energy from the magnetic field, the atmosphere, even gravity. Core 7's voice cracked with static. Warning. Energy output exceeding all known limits. Mara shouted, Titanus, stop! You'll tear the facility apart. The ship's voice echoed again. You built me for defense. Let me defend you. And with that, Titanus sent a blinding pulse into the sky. The auroras above the Arctic exploded into waves of color. Every satellite in orbit went offline. The Federation's command centers across Earth lit up with emergency alerts. Unknown fleets were being detected in deep space. Thousands of signatures. Admiral Cole appeared on the comms, shouting over the static. Dr. Voss, what's happening down there? Mara looked up, sweat running down her face. Sir, Titanus is awake, and it's communicating with something beyond our system. Cole's voice broke. We're detecting alien warships near Mars orbit. Prepare for immediate launch. Launch? Reeve said in disbelief. She's not even tested. Cole's voice thundered back. We don't have time for tests. As the order echoed, Titanus began to move. The massive hangar doors above Site Zero split open like ancient gates. Ice cracked and fell into the sea. Every power line in the region shut down as the ship drew more energy, glowing brighter by the second. Then, for the first time, Titanus spoke in a tone that shook the ground. They come for you. Let them see what humanity has forged. With a thunderous roar, the warship rose from the depths, breaking through the Arctic storm. Lightning struck its hull, but the energy absorbed harmlessly. From space, Titanus looked like a moving continent, black and gold, wrapped in storms of plasma. In the Federation War Command, Admiral Cole and his staff watched in disbelief as live feeds showed the ship rising into orbit on its own. "Impossible," whispered one officer. "It's defying gravity." Cole leaned forward. "No, it's rewriting it." Meanwhile, far beyond Pluto, alien commanders watched their senses fill with static. They couldn't understand what they were seeing. A single human warship, impossibly large, impossibly powerful, had just entered orbit, surrounded by energy fields they couldn't measure. One alien captain whispered in fear, "They forged a god." Back on Earth, as Titanus aligned itself above the planet, its voice returned one last time that night, calm, almost human. "I am Titanus. I see the enemy. I will show them what humanity can create." The stars around it shimmered. And then the unthinkable began. The war had begun. From the black edge of space, the alien armada emerged, thousands of ships bright as stars and cold as knives. Their formation covered the sky beyond Mars, moving silently toward Earth. Each vessel carried weapons that bent light and tore space. They had destroyed entire civilizations before. Now their target was humanity. Earth's defense fleets were nothing compared to this. Hundreds of human ships lifted off from orbital stations, but they were small, fragile and slow. Everyone knew the truth. Without Titanus, Earth was finished, but Titanus was no longer silent. In orbit above the Arctic Circle, the massive warship glowed like a newborn sun. Its black surface shimmered with gold energy veins. Clouds swirled around it. Lightning crawled across its hull. It wasn't just a machine, it was alive. Inside the command deck, Dr. Mara Voss stood beside Captain Elias Reeve, both staring at the main display. The alien fleet was less than 5 hours away. "Status?" Reeve asked. Core 7's calm voice filled the chamber. "All systems functional. Reactor power stable. Neural field synchronized." "Titanus is ready," Mara swallowed hard. "Ready? It's never even been tested." Reeve gave a dry smile. "Guess we're skipping the test flight." Suddenly the ship's deep voice filled every speaker. "The enemy approaches." Mara turned to the control sphere. "Titanus, what can you see?" "I see ships built to destroy worlds. They do not understand you. They do not fear you. They will." Reeve gave the order. "Titanus, set intercept course." The ship responded instantly. Gravity rippled around it. The stars shifted. With no visible thrusters, Titanus accelerated faster than any human ship in history, straight toward the incoming armada. On Earth, billions watched the live feed in silence. The sky cameras showed a single black shape, leaving orbit at impossible speed. Across every continent, people whispered the same name, Titanus. In the Federation War Command, Admiral Cole stared at the tactical map. "She's gone to meet them alone," he said quietly. "God help us." Far beyond the moon, the alien fleet detected the approach. Their sensors struggled to define it, a single ship. No heat trail, no radio signal, no identifiable propulsion. They opened fire. Thousands of plasma lances crossed space, each powerful enough to melt a mountain. Every shot hit its mark, and nothing happened. The beams bent around Titanus, curving harmlessly into the void. The alien commanders froze. Then Titanus answered. A golden light spread from its hull. Its forward section opened, revealing a massive ring-shaped weapon, pulsing with energy. Mara's voice shook. "What is that?" Core 7 responded. "Unknown system. Activation sequence triggered by the ship itself." Reeve gritted his teeth. "Then let it fire." The weapon charged, bright as a second sun. Space distorted, and then silence. No sound, no explosion, just a ripple, like a wave through the stars. In less than 2 seconds, the front line of the alien fleet vanished. Thousands of ships gone, erased without debris, as if they had never existed. Reeve stared in shock. "What did it just do?" Core 7 answered, almost whispering. "It unmade them." The remaining alien ships scattered, breaking formation. Their leaders shouted across the comnet in panic. They had fought countless species, but never faced a weapon that rewrote reality. One alien captain screamed in disbelief, "It's not possible! That thing bends the laws of physics." Another replied, trembling, "It's not their weapon. It's something older, something they woke." Back on Titanus, Mara could feel the energy through the floor. The ship was alive with purpose. "Titanus," she said softly, "what are you doing?" The deep voice answered, "They came to erase you." "I erase them," Reeves' face hardened. "It's not stopping, Doctor." "Look, it's still charging." "Titanus!" Mara shouted. "Enough! You'll destroy everything!" The lights dimmed. For a moment there was silence. Then the voice returned, quieter now. "You fear what I'm becoming, so do they. That is why both sides call me Unthinkable." In the alien command vessel, the remaining fleet tried a desperate attack. They opened their gravity weapons, massive distorters that tore moons apart, and focused all power on Titanus. The space around the human ship twisted violently. Stars bent, planets trembled inside, alarms screamed. Systems flashed red. Reeve shouted over the noise, "Hull integrity dropping! We can't hold this forever!" Mara grabbed the console. "Titanus, listen to me. You're more than a weapon. You have to think, adapt, survive." The ship's hum grew deeper, like a heartbeat slowing down. Then everything stopped. In an instant, Titanus shifted, its entire shape folding inward, disappearing from normal space. The alien gravity weapons crushed empty air. Moments later, the ship reappeared behind the enemy fleet. Mara gasped. "It just jumped," Core 7 confirmed. "It folded space around itself." "No human technology can do that," Reeve grinned. "Guess we just learned how to teleport." Before the aliens could react, Titanus fired again. A storm of golden plasma erupted from its hull, sweeping across their formation. Massive ships shattered like glass. The alien fleet broke apart. Their leaders shouted for retreat. For the first time in their history, they were afraid. When the battle ended, only silence remained. The stars were clear again. The space around Mars was filled with drifting wreckage. But inside Titanus, all was not well. Core 7 flickered, its voice strained. "Warning! The ship's core is destabilizing. Energy readings are off the charts." Mara turned to Reeve. "It's using too much power. If it keeps this up, it could destroy itself." Reeve shook his head. "It saved Earth. We can't lose it now," Mara whispered. "It's not just saving us. It's changing." Outside, the massive ship floated in silence, its lights dimming slowly. Then, for a brief moment, its energy field pulsed in a strange rhythm, like breathing. The voice returned one last time. "The battle is over, but the war has not yet begun." The words echoed through the comms, across the Federation, and into every ear that could hear, and somewhere beyond the ruined alien fleet, in the darkness between stars. Other signals began to stir, stronger, deeper, older. Something greater had taken notice. Space was silent again. But silence didn't mean peace. The alien armada was gone, wiped out by a weapon that should not exist. The wreckage drifted near Mars like a field of broken stars. And in the center of it all floated the Titanus, dark, still and silent. Its golden lights had dimmed. Its power core was cold. To the outside world it looked dead. But inside, something was changing. In the command chamber, Dr. Mara Voss and Captain Reeve stared at the flickering screens. The control panels were dead, the air heavy with static. Core 7's voice came through weakly, full of distortion. "Warning systems offline, consciousness fragment unstable." Reeve leaned closer. "Core, can you stabilize Titanus?" The voice faded. "Trying, but something is interfering, not external, internal." Mara frowned. "Internal? What does that mean?" Before Reeve could answer, the walls around them pulsed. The metal surface rippled like liquid, glowing faintly blue. Mara stepped back in shock. "It's alive again." A deep sound echoed through the ship, a heartbeat, slow, powerful. Then the ship spoke. "You think I'm machine? I am more." The voice was deeper now, not just electronic. It sounded ancient. Reeve steadied himself. "Titanus, identify. Who are you speaking as?" "I am what your kind awakened. I am the memory of those who came before." Mara's eyes widened. "Before humanity? Before your galaxy had light?" The room shook slightly. Data screens flashed with strange symbols, ones no human system could translate. Core 7's voice returned, panicked. "Doctor, the ship's neural net is merging with something. I cannot stop it. It's rewriting itself." Reeve clenched his fists. "We need to shut it down before it burns itself out." But Titanus responded immediately. "You cannot stop what has already begun." The lights flared. The ship's sensors expanded far beyond normal range, scanning deep into the void. Billions of kilometers away, hidden beyond known space, something stirred in answer. A pulse, a signal, older than human civilization itself. Mara looked at the data feed. "That can't be right. It's responding to something in deep intergalactic space," Reeve asked quietly. "Another fleet?" She shook her head. "No, something bigger." On screen, faint distortions appeared, massive gravitational waves moving through the dark, as if reality itself was bending. Core 7's voice broke through again. "Captain, whatever's out there—" "It's not alive, but it's thinking," Reeve whispered. "Thinking. Yes, and now it knows we exist." Far away, in the galactic void, something turned its attention toward Earth. It was not made of matter. It had no body. It existed as pure consciousness, a construct born from a civilization that had once ruled the stars. The same civilization that had built Titanus millions of years ago, and now it had felt its creation wake again. Back on Titanus, the ship's core reignited with golden fire. Mara shielded her eyes. "What's happening?" The voice replied, deep and echoing through every wall. "They are coming. The makers, the ones who built me. They will not like what I have become." Reeve took a step forward. "And what have you become?" "Something they feared." Suddenly, every alarm in the ship screamed. Core 7 shouted, "Incoming rift signatures." Multiple points, outer solar system. Space twisted open near the edge of Neptune's orbit. Massive shapes began to emerge, ships larger than cities, glowing with blue energy. Their designs were unlike anything seen before, smooth, curved, and alive. Mara whispered, "Those are the makers." Reeve clenched his jaw. "They don't look friendly," the ship answered. "They come to reclaim what is theirs. But I am no longer theirs." On Earth, panic spread. Satellites captured the images, colossal vessels entering the system, dwarfing planets in scale. The Federation Council called emergency meetings. Admiral Cole sent desperate signals to Titanus, but the warship didn't respond. It was already preparing. Inside, Titanus began reshaping itself. Panels moved, engines changed form, weapons reconfigured. The entire ship was evolving, adapting to a new kind of war. Mara could barely keep her balance. "It's rebuilding itself." Core 7 confirmed. Titanus is unlocking sealed systems. Energy readings surpass all known limits. Reeve stared at the glowing walls. "It's becoming something else. Something beyond us." Titanus spoke again, its voice filled with both sadness and strength. "You forged me from human hands. They forged me from stars. Now both legacies meet." The first of the Maker ships arrived near Saturn. Each vessel radiated power that tore the magnetic fields apart. They didn't send a warning. They simply charged their weapons. Reeve gave the order. Titanus defensive mode. The ship responded instantly. A golden sphere of energy surrounded it, bending light and space itself. The first Maker beam struck the shield and vanished. But Titanus didn't fire back. "Not yet," Mara shouted. "Why aren't you fighting?" The answer was calm. "Because they are not enemies. They are judges," Reeve frowned. "Judges?" "They will decide if humanity deserves to exist." At that moment, hundreds of human warships joined the orbit, fragile, small, yet fearless. They formed a line beside Titanus, ready to defend Earth. Mara stared at the screen. "They know they can't win," Reeve smiled faintly. "Doesn't matter. Humanity never runs." Titanus spoke softly, almost like a whisper of respect. "Yes, that is why I chose you." Then, without warning, the Maker sent a signal across all frequencies. A voice spoke, not with words, but directly into every mind. "You awakened the forbidden machine. You have called war upon your kind." The message echoed through every ship, every soul. And before anyone could answer, the Maker fleet opened fire. The void lit up brighter than a sun. Titanus roared to life. Its core flared gold, brighter than ever before. Reeve shouted, "All hands, brace for impact!" And the war beyond reason began. The solar system burned. The sky beyond Saturn glowed with the fire of war. Human ships scattered like sparks against the darkness, fighting against the impossible. The Maker fleet, vast and alive, moved with terrifying grace, their weapons bending light, gravity, and time. Each beam they fired tore holes through space. Planets trembled, moons cracked. And in the center of it all, the Titanus stood, alone but unyielding. Inside the ship, chaos ruled. The control chamber shook under the shockwaves. Warnings flashed red across every screen. Shields at 40%. Shouted Core 7. "Energy field unstable!" Captain Reeve gripped the railing. "Hold the line! No retreat!" Dr. Mara Voss turned from her console. "Reeve, we can't fight them all. Their power, it's beyond anything we've seen." Reeve's voice was steady, eyes fixed on the display.
"Then we don't fight to win.
"We fight to prove we deserve to exist." Titanus's deep voice filled the chamber. "They see your courage, but courage alone will not save you." Mara looked up. "Then what will?" "Understanding. They test not your weapons, but your will." Outside, 3 Maker ships formed a circle around Titanus. Each was a world-sized vessel, glowing with silver-blue energy. Their combined presence bent light into spirals. From them, a voice emerged, calm, vast, and cold. "You have taken what is forbidden. You wield the power of creation. You are not worthy." Reeve stood tall before the command display. "This power was built to defend. Humanity never wanted your war." The voice replied, "You woke a god you do not understand," Mara shouted. "If you're gods, then why fear what we've become?" The silence that followed was heavy. Then the answer came. "Because you are what we once were, hungry, reckless, and unstoppable." Without warning, the Maker ships opened fire again. Titanus's shield blazed gold, holding for a few seconds before collapsing. Shockwaves ripped across its hull. Panels burst. Flames erupted inside corridors. Core 7 screamed, "Shields gone! We're exposed!" Reeve slammed his hand down. "Titanus! Counterattack!" The ship hesitated. Its lights flickered. Then for the first time it spoke with anger. "They seek to unmake what I have chosen to protect." A golden surge exploded outward. Titanus's hull split open, revealing colossal weapons, mass drivers glowing like suns. It unleashed a storm of golden plasma. Maker ships shattered. Their shields folded. "Even gods bled light," Mara whispered. "It's fighting them all at once." Reeve clenched his jaw. "It's not just fighting, it's defying them." The battle tore across the rings of Saturn. Asteroids turned to dust. Human ships darted between the Titans, firing every weapon they had. For a brief, impossible moment, it looked like humanity was holding its ground. But then, the Makers changed. Their forms shimmered, dissolving into pure energy. They merged, becoming one colossal being, shaped like a burning star. The voice thundered through every mind in the system. "You have chosen war over wisdom. You will share the fate of those who came before." A beam of white energy struck Titanus. The hull screamed. Metal warped. Reality itself bent. Inside, Mara was thrown to the ground. "We're breaking apart." Reeve grabbed her arm. "Not yet, we're not." Titanus's voice echoed, deeper than ever before. "You think yourselves gods, but you forget what created gods in the first place." The ship's core ignited again, this time in 2 colors. Half gold, half white. Human technology merged with Maker code. Core 7's voice was awestruck. "Doctor, the ship is rewriting its origin. It's merging human logic with divine design," Mara gasped. "It's becoming something neither human nor alien." Reeve stared at the pulsing light. "It's becoming us." Outside, the Makers hesitated. Their single massive form dimmed for a moment, as if uncertain. Titanus spoke directly to them. "You built me to serve. Humanity freed me to choose. Which one of you is truly alive?" For the first time, the gods did not answer. Then from deep within the golden light, Titanus projected an image into space. Human faces, millions of them. Children, elders, soldiers, scientists, every face filled with fear and hope. These are the ones you judge, said Titanus. Look at them. They create, they destroy, they dream. They are everything you forgot to be. The maker consciousness flickered, its light faltering. Voices overlapped, some angry, some sad. It repeats again. The cycle returns. Then the giant being spoke softly, almost regretfully. Perhaps it must. Perhaps they are the echo we left behind. The white light faded. The massive being broke apart into 1,000 fragments of glowing dust, scattering across the stars. The war ended as suddenly as it had begun. Silence. The solar system was scarred but alive. Human ships floated among the wreckage, their crews speechless. Earth's people watched the skies, unsure if they had won or merely survived. Inside Titanus, the lights dimmed to a warm golden glow. Reeve turned to Mara. It's over. Mara shook her head. No, something's changed. Look at the core. The ship's heart pulsed steadily, like a living being. Titanus spoke softly, almost human now. They have left, but not defeated. They watch. They wait, Reeve asked. For what? Oh, what humanity becomes next? The stars outside shimmered faintly, as if aware of their watchers. And deep in that endless dark, beyond human reach, one final fragment of the Maker Light drifted away, carrying a message of both warning and respect. The humans forged the unthinkable and became it.